What Melody's problem is she really needs to stop trying to turn everybody against me. Destin has been my friend way longer than she's been Melody's friend. And I'm not sure if they even have a real relationship. So my thing is, Melody needs to figure things out. We're divorced, and she needs to just move on with her life and stop trying to ruin mine.
Just when it looked like the chaos had finally slowed down, the storm circled back. For years, people watched from the sidelines as drama followed Martell Holt like a shadow that refused to leave. Relationships fell apart, friendships cracked, and trust seemed to disappear faster than it was built. But what nobody expected was that the next wave wouldn't hit him first. It would hit the woman standing beside him. Fans thought the worst had already happened. They believed the scandals, the public arguments, the messy breakups had played out in full view. They thought the story was old news. But karma doesn't move on our schedule. It waits, it watches, and sometimes it arrives quietly before exploding into something nobody can ignore. Because suddenly, whispers started spreading again. Screenshots appeared, old stories resurfaced, and the internet began asking one question louder than ever before. Was history repeating itself? The truth is, when someone becomes part of a storm, they rarely stay untouched. And now, the woman who once seemed safe in his world is finding herself at the center of the very chaos she thought she could outrun.
Did you get everything in the divorce? I gave you a Melody that.
What? Did the cheese cutter?
Yeah.
You my girl, so it's definitely coming with me. Like, what? Actually, she said, you take this. This is from your friends.
Nah, you lying.
Oh, she said that. She said, you take this. This is from your friends.
Wow.
To understand why this moment feels so heavy, you have to go back to where it all started. Long before headlines and fan reactions, Martell's life seemed like a dream unfolding in real time. When viewers first met him on Love and Marriage Huntsville, he came across as confident, charming, and ambitious. He had the business drive, the family image, and the kind of presence that made people pay attention the moment he walked into a room. For a while, he represented the picture of success, a growing career, a public marriage, and a platform that gave him visibility beyond his hometown. Fans admired his hustle. They believed in the version of him they saw on screen. But behind the polished moments were cracks slowly spreading through the foundation. When his marriage to Melody Shari began falling apart in front of millions, viewers witnessed more than just a breakup. They saw betrayal unfold in real time. Arguments weren't private anymore. They became storylines. Pain wasn't whispered in living rooms. It was debated on social media timelines. As the divorce drama played out, Martell's name became tied to controversy, trust issues, accusations, emotional confrontations. All of it stacked up until his reputation shifted from admired businessman to reality TV lightning rod. And when a new woman eventually entered his life, the public didn't greet her with curiosity, they greeted her with suspicion. Still, she stepped into that world believing she could handle it. Maybe she thought love would rewrite the narrative. Maybe she understood him in ways others didn't. Or maybe she convinced herself that people deserve second chances, even when the past says otherwise.
Interesting because she said you're friends with my ops, Martell and Tisha, and you and Martell talk on the phone every day. I said, good and damn well I don't talk to Martell every day.
Right.
She was like, well, I just feel like you should have cut him off. I said, so should I ask all the friends that I have that are mutual?
See, she is something else. She's trying to turn everybody against me. Like, if y'all want to listen
but
to...
But that's so high school. I mean, because I can't ask you to not be friends with people from my situation.
It's not even right, though. I've been knowing that for how many years?
It don't make sense. And don't talk to anybody that I ever dealt with. It's impossible, and it's unfair to ask.
At first, things seemed calm. Photos surfaced of them smiling together. Interviews hinted at stability. For a brief moment, it looked like he had moved on and found peace, and she, standing beside him, appeared confident that she was building something real. But here's the twist. The past doesn't disappear just because you stop talking about it. And slowly, the same patterns that once destroyed his marriage began creeping into this relationship too. The tension didn't explode overnight. It built quietly, like pressure rising beneath the surface. Fans started noticing little things first. Subtle posts, vague captions, comments that sounded supportive on the outside but hinted at deeper frustration underneath. Then came the speculation. Rumors of arguments, allegations of jealousy, stories of tension between her and people from his past. Nothing confirmed, but enough to make viewers feel like they were watching a familiar movie play again. And then, one moment changed everything. A private disagreement reportedly spilled into public view. Details were messy, unclear, and debated online within hours. Some claimed it was about loyalty, others said it involved boundaries with ex-partners, a few insisted it was something bigger, something tied to the same issues that haunted his previous relationship. Whatever the exact cause, the effect was immediate. Social media exploded. Fans didn't just react with surprise, they reacted with recognition, because suddenly the narrative looked painfully familiar. A woman standing beside Martell, defending him while facing criticism herself. A relationship surrounded by whispers. A public watching closely, waiting for the next chapter. People began posting old clips, old interviews, old arguments. They compared timelines, they analyzed patterns, and the louder the conversation got, the more it felt like karma wasn't just knocking, it had kicked the door open. Supporters of his ex spoke up again, saying they'd seen this coming.
Decided to pop in on my longtime friend Martell because he knows Melody best. So navigating this crazy time that we're in, maybe he can give me some positive insight.
Others defended him, arguing that growth takes time and people shouldn't be judged forever by their mistakes. But the majority seemed focused on one thing, the girlfriend now caught in the middle. Because suddenly, she wasn't just his partner, she was part of the story. Some fans accused her of ignoring warning signs. Others expressed sympathy, saying no one deserves to learn painful lessons in public. And a surprising number of people admitted they felt conflicted, torn between believing in redemption and recognizing repeated behavior. The situation only intensified when insiders hinted that the relationship wasn't as strong as it looked online. Reports suggested emotional strain, trust issues, conversations happening behind closed doors that never made it to Instagram. And that's when the internet did what it always does. It chose sides. Some viewers said she should leave before things escalated further. Others argued that she knew what she was stepping into. A few insisted love is complicated, and outsiders don't know the full story. But no matter the opinion, one thing became clear. The pressure surrounding their relationship was becoming impossible to ignore. For Martell, this wasn't just another rumor cycle. It was a reminder that public trust, once broken, doesn't repair easily. Every new controversy felt like proof to critics that nothing had changed. For her, the situation was even heavier. She wasn't just dealing with relationship stress, she was dealing with thousands of strangers forming opinions about her life every single day. And the emotional toll? That part rarely shows up in headlines, but it's always there.
She ran like she always does instead of really facing.
Also, hold on. So she stormed out.
And I said, run like you always do.
Well, she don't hear something like she gone.
And you know of all people how I rolled for her, even telling you how wrong you.
Imagine trying to build a relationship while people constantly compare you to the past. Imagine defending someone you care about while wondering privately if the concerns are valid. Imagine opening your phone and seeing your name trending for reasons you never wanted. That kind of pressure doesn't just affect a couple, it affects mental health, confidence, and the ability to trust your own judgment. Sources close to the situation suggest she's been struggling with that exact weight. Friends reportedly urged her to protect herself emotionally. Some encouraged distance. Others reminded her that love shouldn't feel like constant defense. Meanwhile, Martell himself has tried to maintain composure publicly. He's posted messages about growth, maturity, and learning from mistakes. But fans aren't just listening to his words anymore, they're watching his actions. And that's where karma feels real to many observers. Because for years, people accused him of causing emotional damage in relationships. Now, whether intentionally or not, the chaos surrounding his life seems to be circling back, affecting not just him, but the person closest to him. It's the kind of situation that forces everyone involved to look in the mirror. For her, it means asking whether love is worth the stress. For him, it means confronting whether his past patterns are truly behind him. For fans, it's a reminder that reality TV may entertain us, but the emotions behind it are painfully real. And maybe that's the biggest lesson here. Karma isn't always dramatic. Sometimes it shows up as uncomfortable truths. Sometimes it arrives as a relationship test you didn't expect. Sometimes it forces you to face choices you thought you'd already made. Right now, the future of their relationship feels uncertain. Some believe they'll weather the storm and prove critics wrong. Others think this is the beginning of another breakup playing out in public. But one thing nobody can deny is this: the story has shifted. The girlfriend who once seemed like a fresh chapter is now part of the same complicated narrative, and Martell, whether he likes it or not, is still living in the shadow of his past. As the noise continues, viewers are left watching, analyzing, and waiting to see whether this relationship becomes proof of growth or proof that patterns really do repeat. Because in the world of public relationships, the truth eventually rises. It always does. And maybe that's the biggest lesson here. It's not just about gossip, it's about accountability. It's about whether people can truly change when their history follows them everywhere. It's about whether love can survive when trust has already been tested before the relationship even began. For her, this chapter could become a turning point, either the moment she chooses peace or the moment she doubles down on love despite the risk. For Martell, it's another chance to prove he's not the man critics believe he is. But for everyone watching, it's a reminder that karma isn't just punishment. Sometimes it's a mirror, a reflection of choices, patterns, and lessons we haven't fully learned yet. And now the question isn't whether karma arrived, it clearly did. The real question is what happens next. Will this relationship rise stronger, proving the past doesn't define the future? Or will it become another chapter in a story that refuses to change? One thing's certain, the world is watching, and in the court of public opinion, the next move matters more than ever. Because sometimes the loudest moment in a story isn't the scandal itself, it's what people choose to do after the truth finally catches up.